In the late 1990s, a young girl is diagnosed with cancer.
I begged God, just please, 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 please.
Fighting to save Amanda's life and also pay the bills, the family turns to the Crete community for help.
A group of business people and Lions Club members and people in Crete that wanted to help.
What happens next changes the lives of hundreds of families over the next 2 decades.
This would be an opportunity to do something very, very good for the community.
They meet here once a month.
We have a 28-year-old girl who had a massive stroke on 4th of July.
To discuss how they can help people in need.
Her mom asked if there's any way that we could help them get a handicapped van.
For over 20 years, and funded entirely by donations, Angels on Assignment have helped hundreds of people suffering from terminal illnesses or severe chronic conditions. However, the genesis of Angels on Assignment started hundreds of miles away in Evansville, Indiana, where a young girl was suffering from severe leg pain.
We thought it was growing pains. Her brother had gone through it.
Nothing helped. They tried ointments and rubs and just everything, and nothing would help.
Scans and biopsies confirmed the nightmare diagnosis of cancer, and a treatment plan was started 3 hours away in Indianapolis. Between taking Amanda to the cancer treatments and caring for the rest of the family, Lora was unable to keep her job.
It got really tight.
I was working 2 jobs. We had 2 households going.
Yeah.
You know, they were in Indianapolis all week. I'm back here with the kids.
Back in Crete, Illinois, Amanda's grandfather, Geo Gossard, was worried about the little family in Indiana. As a reporter for the Crete Record newspaper, he would often write about his granddaughter's battle with the cancer.
Everyone loved him, and he had a granddaughter with cancer. So this group of people got together and they had this spaghetti dinner.
Drawing on friendships and connections around Crete, a spaghetti dinner fundraiser was planned to help Amanda, to be held at the Amvet Hall in 1998.
Hey, I've been writing about you. I know some people that want to help.
Crete Lions, Thornton Lions, business owners, and myself got together.
I remember going to the spaghetti dinner. Everyone came up to me like they already knew me because my grandpa had written so much about me. And it was an awesome feeling, and I remember they raised more than they had expected to.
We raised $15,000 at that spaghetti dinner.
Enough money to give the Ferguson family the financial stability they needed.
It kept, my family going. It kept us from losing our house. It kept us from starving.
While efforts to save Amanda's leg were unsuccessful, the rest of the treatment worked, and Amanda has been cancer-free ever since.
My mom and my stepdad are my rocks. I can't imagine what they went through watching me be sick. And I know that the money that Angels on Assignment helped raise just kept us going as a family and took at least one burden off of their shoulders.
We are very lucky. I have my family, and it could have not been that way. No. So I feel very lucky, very blessed.
For Luke, Geo, and the many others who had helped, the success of the fundraiser was proof of concept that the community could come together and make a real difference.
Afterwards, we were all pretty high, and we sat and spoke.
And so they thought, we're good. Let's keep doing this.
We formed Angels on Assignment shortly after that with the same individuals that helped.
In 2001, 10-year-old Christy Kopman was hit by a car in Crete, resulting in 2 broken thigh bones, a fractured pelvis, and at least 6 months in a wheelchair.
It was beginning of summer, and she had to be in this body cast the whole summer and probably wouldn't walk until October.
To help lift the spirits of the young girl, Angels Paula Pascale and Cheryl Albrecht sent Christy and her mother Elizabeth off in a limo to see Christy's favorite band, NSYNC, at Soldier Field.
This young girl was infatuated with NSYNC, so we created an NSYNC moment for her.
3 years later, in 2004, Brian and Jennie Stegenga are moving into a new house in Crete.
Yay!
After only a short time in the new house, Brian begins to develop flu-like symptoms. He also loses his appetite and quickly becomes dehydrated. At the hospital, the news is bad.
They call it ALL, which is acute lymphotic leukemia.
While doctors start Brian on an aggressive chemo treatment plan, Jennie discovers a leak from the ceiling of their new house. Black mold is in the ceiling, the walls, everywhere, making it impossible for the family, let alone Brian, to remain there. Angels on Assignment helped cover the costs of making the house habitable again for Brian and his family. Unfortunately, the cancer treatment proved unsuccessful and left Brian with only weeks to live. The Angels asked if they could send Brian, Jennie, and the kids to Shed Aquarium in a limo to give the family some time together and take their mind off the grim situation.
That was the best thing he could see before he passed. He had his two boys together on a family trip. That's the best memory you can go away with. You can take with you to the grave.
5 days later, Brian passed away. Around the time Brian passed, baby girl McKenzie was born.
She had seizures from the beginning when she was born.
Around 2015-2016, the seizures almost claimed McKenzie.
And I just remember falling asleep, and then I just woke up and I was in the hospital.
And that happened on the way home from school. And she had 4 in a row, major seizures, stopped breathing.
After that, Kelly spent most nights on her daughter's bedroom floor, constantly checking on McKenzie and terrified that another seizure would stop her breathing again.
And then I started looking into the dogs because I was reading all these articles on the dogs and the stuff that they can do and sense.
But between the many doctor bills and living expenses in general, there just wasn't any room left in the family budget for a seizure dog.
We contacted them and they came and interviewed us and were able to help us out.
McKenzie has only had 1 seizure since Mac moved in.
He had got up, came in and out of the bedroom, went by my bedroom, went back in her bedroom. I finally got up and found out she was having a seizure. So it was a blessing that he was there because I wouldn't have known.
And should it happen again, both McKenzie and her mom feel much safer knowing that Mac is there to help.
Good boy, huh?
Knowing I have him and that he will help me makes me feel completely calm, better.
It meant everything in the world for me to have their help, and if Mac wasn't a part of our family, I don't think I would be able to have somewhat of a normal life if it wasn't for their help.
In 2016 was not a good year either for 3-year-old Gavin Jablonski. The toddler began developing strange rashes and a string of ear infections. The results of several doctor visits and blood samples eventually prompted an emergency trip to the ER.
I know that the L word, the leukemia word, had already come up in my researching, and then also the pediatrician, she kept calling with more results coming in. So I kind of knew that this was coming.
While hopes were high that Gavin would prevail against the cancer, his extensive treatment often brought along severe side effects.
He was on steroids every month, and we'd call it roid rage. Hulk would appear at our house for a week, just mood swings and anger, and that was rough.
Helping 3-year-old Gavin go through chemotherapy became a full-time job for Lora. But with medical copays climbing, the single-income household soon started to worry that ends would not meet. Angels on Assignment decided to help financially so that the family in turn could focus entirely on Gavin's treatment.
Angels are truly what they're called. To be able to cover that expense that we wouldn't have been able to cover on our own was ginormous for us.
On August 16, after 40 months of hospital trips, 6-year-old Gavin Jablonski finished his last cancer treatment. On October 26, 2019, Angels on Assignment celebrated their 20th anniversary. In nearly a quarter of a century, countless people have selflessly donated their time and money, making it possible for the Angels to have blessed 105 families with more than $377,000. Hundreds of lives forever changed, the effects of which, like ripples in water, will span generations to come. And it all started 2 decades ago when a group of friends came together in Crete to help a young girl.